Hey, listen. In order for this show to exist, we need sponsors, and our presenting sponsor is Land O'Lakes Food Service. One of the reasons I am so honored to work with them is the fact that they work with over 1,000 farms that make up this cooperative and also bring wonderful products to life. The extra melt line of cheese, the loaves, the shreds, and the blocks. These are so versatile. They're labor saving. This is American cheese that is a great base flavor for so many things. It's adaptable. And, Land O'Lakes has shown their adaptability by sponsoring me. The message is clear. They support our industry, and in turn, let's support Land O'Lakes Food Service. Buy some of those extra melt lines of American cheese for your restaurant today. Hey, it's Niver, and this is Niver Niverland. Today's guest, Jonathan Janssen of Vinai, managing partner of Vinai. This is a restaurant that's gotten so many accolades over the last few months. I had to get this guy in here. He's also a neighbor of ours down in the Moochies neighborhood. Great dude, great front of house experience. We talked to him today about a lot of things. How to take the honeymoon from a restaurant that's getting lauded like his and make it endure. We talk about labor. We talk about culture. It's a good episode. All right, give a listen to me, Niver, on Niver Niverland.
It's
a combo, right?
I'm going to try not to swear too much. My mom's going to watch this. So
I was going to go on a little diatribe. Yeah. The reason that this format is important, in my opinion now, is because of the way it's consumed. It's these are moments where you listen or you're half listening, but you might run across a point from a real person that's talking about something versus somebody who's making a commentary about your place that's not even maybe in the industry, and also just the fact that conversations hold more weight sometimes. This podcast thing has turned into a lot more for me. It has elements of the humor, and it allows me to express in a certain way, but also I feel like these conversations kind of make it real for other people that are doing the things that we are fucking doing.
Gotcha.
Okay. Right? Because I don't, you can't really understand what it's like to own a restaurant until you own a restaurant. Mm-hmm. You can't really understand what it's like to be a server until you've been one. You can sure kind of make certain assumptions, but there's certain things that you have to do to be able to fucking comment about, really, you know? Yeah. Like, who's writing this shit? And there's a lot of great writers out there too. Mm-hmm. It's more about the conversations, meaning it's a collaboration at a table.
Cool. All right.
I like to have you here. Janssen, like Swedish. Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah. So Janssen's actually the most popular or the most common name in the Netherlands. Yep. And my family doesn't actually care. Like, my family's my parents aren't the type of people that were like, oh yes, we must honor our Dutch ancestry or Swedish or whatever the hell. If you ask my dad, we're from Germany, but he doesn't actually know. So, yeah.
I'd like my name to be pronounced like Niver or something like that, but nobody knows it.
Man. Can you imagine how annoying that would be if all your employees at Moochies would be like, Nivier,
Nivier,
Nivier, please.
It's Niver for sure.
Yeah.
That's the one I get all the time. Okay. Oh, you're Tim Niver. Yeah. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I am not Tim Niver.
The one that shocked me,
Niverland.
When Christy referred to you as Niver, I was like, what the hell?
My wife, Christy, we worked together forever, but it is a thing where she does refer to me as Niver. Yeah. My mother-in-law calls me mostly Tim, but when she's talking to Christy, she will say Niver, so it's kind of funny to hear my mother-in-law do it too.
That's awesome.
Identity is a thing. Being front of the house, a lot of my training was to be inobtrusive and not noticed, which is also kind of, Swedish and German and all of that, where you're swooping into the table and you're kind of like a dish fairy and you're kind of flitting around the table, doing your thing, not calling attention to yourself, inobtrusive, but like, gliding through that experience.
Okay.
And so having now this voice that I've taken for myself with Niver Neverland, finding that identity is important, right?
Yeah.
Your restaurant where you're a managing partner right now, congratulations.
Thanks, man.
Holy cow, Vinai.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it?
Vinai, yeah.
Vinai.
Yeah.
And
but also, we're not going to get
everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody does. I called it Niverlands yesterday, just joking around. Like we all add an S or whatever to shit here, but I just like to know the correct pronunciation.
Yeah.
Vinai.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Like holy cow. You open up a restaurant. I interviewed Marcus Samuelson yesterday.
Oh, dope. Oh,
Dope. So dope.
I was wondering who you had yesterday.
Marcus Samuelson.
See, this is like, man, this is why I was nervous about being on here, because like you had Marcus Samuelson on yesterday. Shit. Like, I mean, when I was starting.
I am equally excited to speak to you. I am equally excited. I swear to you.
Dude,
I swear to you. Knowing that, like, I am, and you, and I'm just grateful. I happened to work with him, and it was a really good experience.
I got so much love for you, bro. But like, so just in the interest of transparency, like one of the reasons why I was so nervous about this was because like when I started in this industry, you were one of the people that like people told me like, hey, if you're serious about being a good operator, you need to learn from Niver. I never got that opportunity, obviously.
You could ask my partners that, and they wouldn't all be happy with the answer.
Yeah, but yeah, and just the the people who've been on this show before, called imposter syndrome or whatever, but like I'm definitely feeling like I don't belong in this seat. But I'm so happy I am.
You really do, and like I say, that's why I brought up Vinai. Because some of the things that are happening for you now are real, and you don't get Eater Best New Restaurant, Esquire Best New Restaurant, New York Times 50 places, best 50 favorite places in America 2024, or Time Magazine's World Greatest Places. You don't.
Yeah.
You please value what you're bringing to this conversation, because this shit is huge. That's never happened to me. That's never happened to me. I mean, that's sick. Also, I understand the pressure that brings. Like, holy eyes on you. How you doing with it?
Honestly, we're rolling. We're happy.
Hey, it's not a story everybody can tell.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Thank you for saying nice things about me, but I haven't always delivered to my partners as an operator what they would have liked me to. Fact. Doesn't mean the food's not good. Doesn't mean I don't know how to run it. Doesn't mean this and that and the other thing. I run small places. I've never owned a big joint. It's hard.
Yeah.
If you don't get sales to 2 million a year, whatever you're doing right now, I think that would be extremely difficult to pull off.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. And I've said that to people before. Like, I wouldn't know how to run a Cowboy Jacks. That's just that's not in my wheelhouse, dude.
I don't want to know how to run one. I don't.
Yeah.
But no offense to Cowboy Jacks. Listen, everybody's got their bit is the thing. It's just not my bit. Yeah. I like my small places, dude. Big places scare me. That's a huge chance. Like, I take chances on where I put my restaurants, and I take chances on how small they are, and I take chances on the neighborhoods that they're in.
Okay, but didn't you also run 7?
No.
Oh, that wasn't. Oh,
no.
I was mistaken.
Martini Blue.
Oh, okay. All right. Maybe that's what I was thinking.
I ran that shit.
Okay.
I ran that shit. So I did, and I was at the Bellagio in Vegas, and that was the largest one. Okay, I have run a large volume.
Yeah,
casino.
yeah. It was good.
Never mind.
You've run one of the most popular casinos in the world, but like whatever. Like
you forget that it's like 20. That's almost 20. It's like 27 years ago. Shit. 98.
You're remarkably well preserved. So.
Yeah, pickling. Which you potentially helped me with over the years too. So Vinai, receiving these accolades, opening this place, really the story of it, getting open is ridiculous. You think about the amount of time that it takes to get a restaurant open normally, from inception to whatever, couple years. But this thing was like an idea in the brain, and there was a building for it, and there was all these other things that were happening to your partner while this is going on. But ultimately, you fucking stuck with it. Yeah. And so, isn't that grind worth it because you got there now? Like, it sucks when you're in it. But that grind's worth it now. And look.
I can take very little credit for we'll call it the gestation of Vinai. Like, that was all Yia. The first time that he talked to me about Vinai was, what would that have been? Probably like fall 2019. So at that time, I just started being the general manager of Norseman. And Yia and his then business partner came at me and they were like, hey, we got this idea for, this is the goal. Like, UHK is great. And they had just started the food truck at Sociable. But like, this is the goal, is to, and the whole thing about Vinai from the start, it wasn't just a business. It was never just that. It was about so much more than that. It was, and it's something we think about daily. It's a legacy for his parents. Every single interview he's ever done, he drops the phrase "love letter to his parents." Like, it truly is that. It was one of the first, even concepted, like, actual Hmong restaurants. I think a lot of people in the Twin Cities don't realize how many Hmong restaurants they already patronize. Lots of Thai, Vietnamese, Cambodian restaurants are actually operated by Hmong people. To actually say we're going to do a full service restaurant serving Hmong food was incredibly audacious. And we had not one but two chefs in the Twin Cities that wanted to do that. That's crazy and wonderful.
And also executed Diane's place, executed in such a way.
Oh, okay.
With the unique talents of both people coming from a similar culture, and those representations coming to life right now.
Yeah.
It's really a beautiful story. It's an unbeatable story.
Yeah. Not to mention that we're 3 blocks away from each other, which is also awesome.
Yeah. Does fucking Time magazine call you?
No, the Time magazine came out of nowhere, dude. Like, so
they didn't tell you.
So usually you get a heads up on these things, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, so someone calls you and is like, hey, we need some photos, or we need a quote from blah blah. Even if it's not a here's what's happening, there's usually some way of knowing that this is coming. And how it happened to us was they just straight up emailed us and said, hey, you're in consideration for this list. We need some info and some photos.
Was it a picture of you? Did you send them a picture of you?
No, dude. All the PR and all that is left to much smarter people than me. So, yeah. So.
I totally get that. Yeah. I'm not in a place where there's... Well, I can say I'm not in a place where there's a lot smarter people than me, but I need people like that. Matt really helps me, and it's important to have people that are within their expertise to help you with something that's maybe outside your expertise. For real PR and all that, places that get the attention are asking for it in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. So Time came out of nowhere, and you're just like, damn, holy shit.
Yeah, no, and it's kind of hard to... So another thing I'm nervous about being on this is like just the shut up, dude.
Give me the list. Put the list of things you're nervous about in here.
The lack, or the decrease in nuance in the world. You know, like I don't want something I say to be taken to the next stage. Because someone has absolute thinking. But,
yeah, you're worried about what you're gonna say a little bit.
A little bit, but like the
Me too.
the love from the media has been absolutely fantastic. And honestly, like obviously has contributed to the health of the business. It is interesting sometimes, like talking to people about what they think is the biggest deal. And it depends too. Like, I mean, arguably Time and New York Times probably have the highest circulation, right? So like, yeah, those should be the biggest deal. But, James Beard Award, like that's more industry focused. So you feel like the people who are recognizing you for that maybe have a little more skin in the game, or, knowledge base at least. So I guess that has been nice, is to see the variety of attention, as opposed to just like, oh, we're just getting this because one of their field writers happens to be a Minneapolis native.
The story is great though. That's Diane's story is really cool too. Being a non-male in that culture.
Yeah.
And, the different expectations and so forth. And pushing your culture to recognize you now. That's hard, but I also just like incredibly like inspired by folks really taking their identity and owning that identity. Those are the things that we need. We need to get it out. We need to get it out. We need to show people who we are in the right ways. And restaurants are expressions. And the expression of, like it being about family doesn't, and things that you've learned and taken away. Beautiful.
Yeah.
So the meaning is maybe that it's really nice to get these things, these accolades, but it's more internally about the heart of the story. And that just makes it feel good. And that's what people are picking up on, is like the reality is, this is a immigrant owned business, and or an immigrant family that owns a business, right? And it's just amazing how important that is for us. We saw what happened with Owamni being one of the most, if not the most unique restaurant in the world, and like for that reason, one of the most important restaurants in the world. Still. That those things are here in our city is a fucking gift. So the words are nice. What you're doing really means way more than that, and I know, I know that.
Yeah. No, we're and honestly, we're in a good spot right now where it's like we're just having a good time. Like the business is healthy. The team we have there is absolutely phenomenal. We have been fortunate to have very low turnover, so we've got great continuity. I mean, we're going to be coming up on a year, July 30th, and so
what leads to that amidst the hustle and bustle and kind of the chaos of everything that's going on? Do you think it's like purely say, and you're saying this for both front and back of the house?
Yeah.
Feel your
you're
energy.
referring to the turnover specifically?
Yeah, like
it's an interesting question. So my knee-jerk response to that would be the number one way to reduce turnover is to be very careful in your hiring. But I didn't get that opportunity with Vinai. All the employees of Vinai were hired before I officially came on. Thankfully, the vast majority of them are fantastic. We did have to make a few changes, and that's just how it is. And then part of it is to like... So this is going to get way, way, way off into left field, but one of my gripes with the restaurant industry is how special a lot of people think the restaurant industry is. Like, to me, at the end of the day, it's a business. Businesses should care about all the same things: the bottom line, the top line, training, turnover, employee satisfaction, things like that. Obviously, there are a lot of restaurants who don't care about those things, and so, but yeah, I mean, when I hire someone, like they've gone through hoops. Like I'm not an easy person to get hired by, and like I know that, and like, so when it does get to that stage, I feel like I have a moral and ethical obligation to that person, to like. And
you've already committed. You're starting to commit. You're giving trust. You're saying, okay,
yeah.
It's great. I tell people like I don't do many interviews anymore. Like, not because I won't or whatever. Just I'm not typically around, and we also have a lot of people that stay. But there's people you interview, and I'm like, that was a really good interview. Do you actually do what you say you're gonna do? Like, can you live up to that interview? And like, I know you were telling me everything you thought I wanted to hear, but when you get here, you're going to try to skate on side work, or you're going to kind of, be the greedy server, or you're going to be, I don't know, like the one that's always somewhere and you can't find them. I don't know. Like, hiring is absolutely the best way to have people. We are people, not skills, because skills can be transferred.
Yeah. Yep. No, and so ultimately what you're really interviewing for is, differentiate between personality and behaviors, right? So in psychology, the prevailing notion is like, we'll say personality is relatively fixed, whereas behaviors can be changed. And so like that is, what you're interviewing for is, does this person have the core personality that I want? Yeah.
For me, this is really hard because it kind of overwhelms me sometimes, and it maybe sounds weird to people, but I have this is me. I kind of know right away.
Oh, okay.
I kind of know right away.
Yeah, I can see that.
I get a weird fucking gut about something, and sometimes it's like I just want to try. I want to try with this person.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Our place is small, so small.
Yeah.
That you can't fucking hide. You can't.
Yeah.
How many employees do you have at Vinai right now?
Oh, shit. I should know this number offhand. I think it's like...
Don't forget your mic. Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good.
Yeah, I should know this number offhand. I think it's 16 front of house, 6 or 7 prep, and then... Gosh, I really should know this. I want to say like 6 or 7 in the evening, like back of house too. So yeah.
That's not that big.
No, it's really not. Yeah.
Very manageable. How many seats are that place?
It does help only having, so we're only open Tuesday through Saturday. So
what do you guys do? What do you do any other 2 days? What do you do?
Hang out. Yeah.
You walk your dog in the neighborhood.
I try to walk him every day. He's doesn't always love that, but
Geralt.
Yeah, no, Geralt. Yeah, no. So you obviously didn't watch The Witcher. So
fucking Geralt. Yeah. I don't watch what?
The Witcher.
No.
Okay, yeah. So that's who he's named
Geralt.
after. It was kind of, so he was a rescue. He was actually directory homing. So
what?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, so my wife had a friend who had an uncle who had Geralt, and like for whatever reason their living situation couldn't accommodate him. So Caitlin shows me pictures of him, and I'm a huge nerd, obviously. And so I see pictures of him, and I think like, oh, he looks like a dumb baby. We'll name him Rickon, from Game of Thrones. And so we go to the person's house, and I'm in the mindset that we're going to try to, see if this is going to work. Caitlin immediately sees Geralt, or his name was Snow at the time, sits down on the floor and just starts going, "Oh my gosh, I love you so much." I was like, all right, well, I guess we got a dog now.
Geralt.
But
you were your dog peed on our open sign.
I'm so sorry about that. I'm gonna be like, I was just kind of daydreaming, and we were walking by, and all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, Geralt, don't pee on Niver's sign."
What the
Fuck,
frick, bro?
damn it.
You
Like,
did DM me immediately.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I lost my way, and my dog
I felt
lifted his
bad.
leg on your
I'm sure that sign's been peed on hundreds of times.
Yeah,
too,
yeah, we
like,
hose it off all the time.
Yeah.
All right, so retention though, and keeping people around. It's not a huge staff, but you feel like that is also obviously those experiences in that shop. Being busy helps.
Yeah.
You know, it eliminates a lot of sins too, when or covers up your sins too when you have good sales. You know, and you just have to like keep things in line. But it sounds like you've really just dialed into the people you like, and they're on a roll, and you're on a roll.
Yeah, no, they're great. So
Most people
we were
full
talking.
time. Do you kind of get them where it's like, hey, you got 5 nights, or
We're
do you mind me asking?
no. So most of our front of house staff are working 4 nights a week, and some of them do want 5s, and I'll like give to them when I can. But the reality is like they're all making good money off of 4 nights a week. So if we can keep that, if we can, you know, if we can maintain a really, really, really healthy work-life balance off of 4 nights a week, then great. And you know, they know they
That's
can.
dope. Obviously difficult and a fortunate situation, but also working 5 nights, giving all that 5 nights a week. I try not to have anybody cooking 5 nights a week either,
yeah.
man. It's like, it's just so much. My chef certainly doesn't, you know, and we're such a small joint. He's got to cook. He might cook 4. He might cook 3 a week, you know, like dude's in there firing it off like a line cook, you know, like that's what we need to have there. But
That's awesome.
you got a whole team that's, you know, like, you know, busting in their butts and doing a lot of prep in a busy restaurant. 4 days is enough. And I think that's a really cool way to structure it.
No, and you know, I tell the staff to be honest with me. Like if they say they're come up with like an unexpected car repair or something, and they want to, you know, to do 5 nights a week, I'll try to make that happen for them. You know, but I think
The lives that make up the restaurant.
yeah,
It's not only it's not only yours, you know, like as employees, you make up the restaurant, and it's your joint too, you know, and that's just as important, if not more important, you know, like yourself kind of has to go away a lot of times when we do this, when you're with the guests, yourself kind of goes away, but you know, yourself is always in there, and that's who's employed there is yourself, like the people that, you know, you got to show that person your ultimate respect and have compassion for their fucking life.
yeah, yep. And that, you know, it's so we were in a meeting the other day, and I happened to be there. It was with a vendor, and one of my employees, like, they just straight up asked him, they're like, so, you know, how do you like working here? And one of the things he said was that it's one of the few places he's worked where feels like he's treated as an individual. And that was awesome to hear, obviously, but it's also, to me, I'm like, that's so basic. Like, and obviously, all of us hear the horror stories of so many restaurants not, you know, giving their employees basic respect, or even like the things they're legally entitled to.
You seem to champion the employee angle. You've been an employee, and now you have a participating effort in a different fashion, being a managing partner, and your responsibility is to the employee first and to the restaurant, and making sure that's a safe space for everybody. I don't think you can transfer, I've talked about this I don't know how many fucking times, but I don't think you can transfer hospitality to somebody unless you feel good.
Absolutely.
Unless you feel safe. I think you can fake it and whatever. I think you can tell when you fake it, but when something's real, you know, comfort, you know, I got a casual Italian American joint, you know, and very few employees, and I have a special situation where we just happen to know each other really well because there's no square footage, you know, but running a bigger place and balancing, you know, 50, 100 employees, you know, like there's a point where I do feel like some of that can get lost. But I think overwhelmingly, if you have a very clear expectation and standard of how you treat a person, and then you say this. Basically, the training guide is how you treat each other. Because if you treat everybody nice that you work with, the respect for whoever or whatever they are, then you have a safe spot and you can transfer that ease to people. And otherwise, you can kind of feel like, like the weirdness of pre-shift or the tension from the kitchen, or I don't know. I don't want to sense things like I do all the time. Like, I wish I could turn that off, but you can walk into a place and fucking know.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No, so
it's beautiful. You're doing good.
Yeah. And that's been really cool is, one of my favorite reviews, because I do, like any stupid restaurant operator, I check all the reviews and online traffic at least twice a day, and
oh my god, I don't do that.
Well, that's because you're not stupid, but I'm
stupid about different shit.
I like one of the favorite ones I ever read was this guy just talking about like how obvious it was that the staff was happy and the line cooks respected and were happy being there. Yeah, you touched on two things that are super, super important to me. And one of them was instilled in a fairly young age. My first job out of college was actually running a healthcare facility. It was a short-term care facility for people with disabilities. And thankfully, I was lucky enough to have the person who had my job previously stay there to be a mentor to me. And one of the things she said to me was, you cannot take care of people if you don't take care of your people. And it's such a simple, trite statement, but it is absolutely true. And when it comes down,
that forms your hospitality.
Yeah, because when it comes down to it, in my current position, I'm not there most nights. But
what do you do at night?
Hang out, my employees know that like I am absolutely there for them, whatever they need. If they call me, I'll be there in under 30 minutes. And so that allows them to feel safe and secure doing what they do. There is also a personal note. My wife's a union lobbyist, so like I have to be pro-labor. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, can we just do both? Can't we just do both? I think the challenges that we're facing are is if you're pro-labor, as I am, I'm also pro my business.
Yeah.
And I there's just certain limits upon which I can operate. We have July 1, we go up $1 more minimum wage here the last 5 years.
Yep.
That happens. And I'm kind of like, well, I got here. Did I make it? I made it. Now, what's next? I'm wondering what's next. Like, can we just stay here for a minute at 15 and let me have something that's stable and, fixed for a minute? Like, things happen to us. We have to raise our prices. We have to, tariffs are coming. You have to protect your business. So you're like, protecting employees is absolutely main. Number one. Also, protecting the business is also number one, because you gotta pay for everybody. You got to be able to take care of it and keep the dream alive. And
yeah, I mean, if you have no business, you have no employees. So
yeah,
that's it.
That's it. Well, I think the thing about culture, and I think the thing about retention, and Marcus Samuelson said yesterday, I'm like, hey, how's the labor market there? And you can get people, and are they leaving? Are they moving around a lot? And he just looks at me and he's like, well, if they're coming to work here, then, we're going to get a commitment. We're not going to just, like, as long as they're in it pushing for the betterment of the joint, we're good. And that's the commitment he's asking for. I don't want you bouncing around. If you're going to bounce around, but you're not going to like, you're working with me, man. I need you to work here. I need you to stay here. And he's like, that's it. Can you do that? This world is kind of hard for kitchen folks to stick around, but I think chefs are saying, I got a lot to teach you and a lot to teach you. And if you do, I think people will stay. If you're picking up, if you're not finding interesting or fun or something in your work that you're taking, the takeaway of work, like we're missing out for the employee. We're missing out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the struggle for businesses is real. Like St. Paul is I don't want to sound all trodden about fucking St. Paul. I really don't, because I really think when businesses leave, that turnover is fucking exciting. Like Aubergine, I probably pronounced that wrong too. Aubergine.
Yeah.
They did a little pop up at Moochie's last night, and I'm just so stoked for them, And I'm hoping, I don't have news about that, but I'm hoping soon they end up with their St. Paul dream. I go to Muriel, and that makes me hopeful and happy every time I eat there.
Yeah.
And about St. Paul, you talk about the restaurants on University and the diversity of University, and the way that feels to this town. And there's still like beautiful places to go, but that pushing and that vibrant idea and that energy around it is a little muted. Like downtown's taking some hits right now. It's just the spaces are filling back up. People want to do shit, but it's taking a little time. Is that what it feels like to you?
Yeah, I guess I was like, so do you feel like that's unique to St. Paul specifically,
No.
Not the metro in general?
Metro in general.
Okay. All right.
There's pockets.
Yeah.
But there's places within North Loop that aren't doing good. Because maybe they're not good. Like not every place is busy.
Yeah.
That's for sure. March seemed to be dope. I call my accountant up. I call my accountant up and I'll be like, hey man, how's everyone doing? And he's like, good March. I'm like, cool, thanks.
Okay.
Because it gives me a read on like overall business in the city.
Sure.
You wonder, I've had slow restaurants and you wonder why you're fucking slow, because it's so good or whatever. And then all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, everybody moved out. In St. Paul, I see that they're flipping buildings and making them into apartments. The Sherman companies helped us get into the Rayette, and they were actually like one of my favorite companies to deal with from a landlord standpoint, finding those relationships. And a landlord that wants to have an enduring relationship really needs to consider the rent that they're charging, and what they're putting in and what they're going to get out and what type of building it is and where their profits come from. Like restaurants just don't have a lot to give. Man, there's it's so fucking hard.
Well, I mean, there's always the TIs, assuming that you're going to keep that space a restaurant space, but yeah.
Well, yeah, the investments in are one thing, but making money on a, like it's an amenity often to a building. So,
yeah.
They're looking for the monthly rent really to pay the nut, but you have one good retail space that you want, to kind of anchor the building. And to me, in that scenario, I want the building. I'm going to look at the building. I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm going to anchor this dude. And you don't want me pulling anchor or having to because of a bad rent deal. You want that anchor solid in there. Give me a good rent deal.
Yeah.
And something that's enduring. Like, I think I looked at the Salute space.
Okay.
Three times. Three fucking times.
Yeah.
I looked at it.
The one on Grand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, whoa, 6,000 square feet. Can Grand support that right now? Can Grand support 6,000? If it was a good restaurant?
So, yeah, I guess let's talk about Grand specifically. Grand is weird because as much of a perceived thoroughfare that it is, I don't think it's anywhere near as busy as like people think it is just because it's Grand. The other problem is
it's old perception.
Yeah. It doesn't have the population density, obviously, that downtown St. Paul or North Loop has. I mean, shit, like, one block in North Loop probably has more people than 6 blocks of Grand does.
Yeah.
Like, so
all built up.
Yeah.
Instead of
they're vertical. Yeah.
And it is funny, it was like, well, not funny, but you live near, say, Grand Avenue, and there's 2 corporate coffee shops, there's a little breakfast place. Things just kind of go away. There's a pizza joint and an Indian restaurant, and then there's kind of a bigger Italian place, and then there's a smaller Italian place, within 50 feet of each other. It's just kind of a weird setup. Grand Avenue down by Shish. And what was the name of the
Grand
Catch?
Yeah.
Is anybody going in there? How fucking cute is that place? What's going on?
It's still empty. And that's so dumb.
Who owns it?
I don't know. Somebody would know.
Things like that get my brain stewing. I can't right now. But I want to push. I want to push folks to look deep into St. Paul, and I know it's hard, but like I say, we're kind of reaching some of the final things. You can write your budget based on this is what it's going to be this year, and next year it's it's not going to go up. And so you can look at your numbers and have it be an honest guess. I just feel like I want to boost St. Paul. I want to hype it a little bit. It's still fucking cute over here, man. We need to keep pushing.
Yeah.
Keg and Case really just never turned into anything. And, I know, I don't know if that got sold once already or twice. I mean, it's been moving, and gosh, all that development and fun. And then just, it didn't work. Things like that really hurt. Yeah. You look at it and you're like, oh, St. Paul can't support it. And it's like, oh man, we don't want that perception,
See, and again, to use the Keg and Case example specifically, to me, I'm just because I thought it was a dumb location. There is not the population density there to support that place. You need to. Malcolm Yards, has high rises surrounding it. North Loop Galley, which didn't work. Also, Keg and Case doesn't is just so what? You got single family homes on the 4 road side, and then on the other side you got a river. So.
Yeah, so maybe I think then maybe it's one of the things that led me to my comfort of having a small restaurant, because the population density and how busy things are in St. Paul. The keep St. Paul quiet thing I never really liked. I don't know. I mean, I get that for living here, but I never really liked that. I mean, no offense to anybody that came up with it, but I just feel like I don't want it to be quiet. I want a little activity in the streets. I want, a lively shopping neighborhood. And we have some beautiful stuff and little tiny pockets, but love to see that excitement come back.
I mean, everything feels better.
Pro worker, right? Yeah. But I would love people to work downtown. I mean, I would love to see downtown full again and vibrant again. I just don't know. Yeah. I just don't know.
Everything feels better when there are people out. It's how much better does it feel to be in North Loop on a busy Friday night compared to a rainy Tuesday morning?
People from the suburbs have more services in the last 5 years too. You can get any kind of meal you want out in Woodbury, and of one level over another. But you see Liliana, the Estelle folks, moving out there, and I'm like, holy shit, a quality restaurant that I really, really want. That should crush. Neighborhood joints seem to be the ones with the most consistent furtive business in town. Little places like Moochie's, that can support on 44 seats or whatever. Sometimes I feel protected by that, but it's also limiting. Yeah. You have outdoor seating at
we do not. So we have 68 seats in the dining room, and then another 16 at the bar rail, and another, we'll call it 8 in our lounge area. And outdoor seating is not in the cards. It's just and takeout also. So I think we're pretty much at the limit right now where
max capacity.
Well, kitchen capacity, most how fast can they put food out for that amount of people. So adding takeout, adding outdoor seating would just drag everything.
You guys should get DoorDash.
No. How come you've never done delivery? Did you ever try it?
With those companies? No. Okay. I don't like it.
Even
I
during
don't really
the shutdown,
want it as part of my business.
Okay.
I don't like the drivers rolling into my joint. I did do it. We did do it in Minneapolis because it was a little different scenario. The density was a little like definitely better there to support it.
Sure.
But, I don't know. I feel like the more you do things to kind of separate food from your restaurant, like I'd love people taking takeout. But we're devaluing the sit down experience by doing that. Too much. I think people really want conveniences these days, and it's a hindrance to time where they would share a moment at a table. And with 44 seats, you really only get 90 minutes once you're in there, kind of, and
Sure.
we have to run that pretty, like to the point that it's important for the business survival to run it to our table times, for the size of the joint.
I was gonna say, I mean, if you got even like 50% more business, like, wouldn't that just kill all your ticket times? Like,
No.
Okay.
So, Chef Aaron Cave, who doesn't get applauded, it's like real, like he's been all over, but he doesn't get applauded because he doesn't ask for it, but he really is an operator, man.
Okay.
And so the way that we looked at our menu over the last year, we knew that we had some basic things, and then we were trying to find our identity with him. And through that kind of cooking the most familiar things for a while to get him in a rhythm, he knows how to really kick things out. So we doubled the size of the restaurant in the summer, and ticket times, maybe drop a minute or two, but it's designed to be, something that's going to get picked up fast. And I'm all right with that. We're not trying to, there's no fucking tweezers. Well, there are tweezers, but it's not a tweezer thing, it's like we put shit in bowls, man. It's a bowl of pasta, so you kick it out. You got hot pans waiting, and, so I think in a lot of cases, what it does is when you get that big for the summer, you have to increase your level of communication. It's the same operation, but there's two restaurants. It's literally double the acreage.
Sure. And
you just kind of have to I manage them as two small restaurants, and I bounce between the indoors and the outdoors because they don't all get seated at once typically. And so, that doesn't mean Garmager doesn't get a hit at once. That doesn't mean, what's kind of for, pastas, and that pasta guy doesn't, he can only fit 12 pans on the French top at once.
Okay.
You got, damn near 100 seats.
Yeah.
So, it's hard though to figure out your volume. We were comfortable at a certain capacity last year, and we are pushing that capacity this year. Just for the need, I have one business. I have one business. And so I'm like, okay, well, as an operator, I do need to get just a few more, what else can I get out of it? And it's not that I was lazy about it before, but it just has my full attention. It's hard to lose details. You lose details with the distractions, and other business can be a distraction, that's why you need good people to operate it for you. But now I'm back. But I stay out of their fucking way, dude. I really want them to run it. I'm really there 3 days a week right now.
That's great.
It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Doing this fills my time, and it's a good creative thing. But when I'm there on the floor, I find myself refreshed, and I'll get there, we'll do this, and I'll go down pretty much right after this, and I'll be there, noon until 10 o'clock today, and I'll sweep the floors, and I'll, mop the floor before service. It just feels really good to be able to do it. I'm so fucking fortunate. Yeah. It's such a tiny little place, and try to take the heat off folks with my presence and not put pressure on them. It's good. I like it.
Yeah.
This is Neverland, and I did end up talking about me a little bit there. Sorry, buddy.
No, it's your show, dude.
Well.
No,
so you're here. You know what? I have to pee.
Yeah. All right. Did I tell you about? I was watching some old Anthony Bourdain the other day and saw the clip of you at Akavit.
I love it when people bring that up. It was like one of the coolest moments.
I lost my shit. I was like, that's Niver. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So Anthony Bourdain was in town doing a cook's tour.
Yeah.
And he went over to Vincent Francois's place, Vincent, and he came to Aquavit, which I was working with, obviously, with Marcus Samuelson at the time. Yeah. What other restaurant did he go to?
I don't think Vincent ended up making the show.
He didn't?
I think it was just Aquavit. It was like Mall of America and Aquavit. He was just dumping on like like the whole premise of the show was the Midwest sucks, but maybe this place doesn't suck. Like
the Midwest sucks, but not that bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was a cook's tour, and he came in, and Chef Roger. I mean, he just has an accent that was a little bit unclear sometimes, and so I walked him through the smorgasbord platter and poured him numerous shots of Aquavit. And at the time, Bourdain was big and he was cool and he was starting to sell out, some theaters, doing some of his shows and all that, but not nearly the magnitude, but his coolness was just palpable. He, I almost got to have dinner with him, but he apparently enjoyed the Aquavit a little much, and we didn't see him back down for dinner.
Okay.
But lovely, cool interaction, yeah. And when people see it on whatever rerun or whatever, and young Niver pops up with Bourdain, it's just, it's funny, and I love it. I fucking love it.
It's a great experience.
Yeah. Working at the Bellagio is like, you see people there that you can't imagine. Like Muhammad Ali threw a fake punch at me. I'm like, do you have a reservation? When he walked up to the door, and he's like, no. And I go, in your name? And he fucking threw a fake punch at me.
Did you recognize him on
Yes.
set? Okay, all right. So you were just screwing.
I was screwing with Muhammad Ali, man. It's all right.
That's awesome.
So fucking gracious.
Yeah.
So he threw the fake punch at me, and then, like whoever he was with pulled out a pamphlet about the Quran, and he signed it and gave it to me. And then we walked him into the restaurant. We sat him down, and he's like, I want a hamburger, but I want it made out of a steak. So we went and we ground up, a nice fatty sirloin or whatever, and made him a burger out of it. Whatever the fuck Muhammad Ali wants.
Yeah.
We had access to those folks out there. That was really a lot of fun. Really a lot of fun.
That's cool.
I don't know what got us on that. Hey, I wanna slide back to some of the accolades you've received, and I really like your attitude about them. Sorry. Oh, everything's good. Oh shit! The fucking table moved, and I thought everything was gonna go over. The accolades. Okay, like there are restaurants that go into honeymoon periods where you receive graciously, like people saying good things about you.
Yeah.
And through the length of my career, I've had so many people say nice things about my stuff, and also not nice, but what I've always realized is how in the present that is, and that a month later, that big magazine is sitting on the bottom of the dentist's office pile in the waiting room, and then really the ultimate idea for your restaurant is that it endures, that it keeps itself around for a long time. So as you look at yourself going forward, what are the things that you believe will make you a better, mature restaurant?
Yeah. I think a lot of it is simply how we've structured the business. We are healthy enough right now to be in a position where we can make sure that people are doing what they're good at and not doing things they're not good at. And that's huge. And I think that's it's not just restaurants. It's one of the problems with small businesses in America is the United States, like the way the U.S. is set up. It's very easy for someone to just start a business, and that's a good thing. It is not easy to maintain a business, and part of that, it's important to me that people know it's not just restaurants that are difficult. It's small businesses are tough. Small businesses and restaurants have about the same success/failure rate. And so I think a lot of people, when they're starting up a small business or a restaurant, they have this mentality where they need to do everything themselves, and it's not just wearing all the hats. It's we're gonna save $150 plumber roll fee if I can just figure this out myself. But you do that too much, and it's just not sustainable. It's unreasonable to expect a good cook to also be a good accountant. It is unreasonable to expect a good bartender to also be a good cook. And so just making sure you got people where they're supposed to be. The other thing I see a lot with restaurants is when they do get to a healthy place, when they get to that good place where they can actually like stop playing catch up and start thinking ahead, they don't recognize it. And so they're stuck in that survival mode mindset, which doesn't allow growth.
Yeah. Good one.
Yeah.
That's real true.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Marcus was saying yesterday, man, if you can't be excited about cooking this food, I can't have you here.
Yeah.
And that's it. You need to be excited about this shit. You can maintain that and keep the excitement and have an environment that produces a trajectory for people, that there's learning along the way, that they aren't necessarily, like, you want them there as long as possible, but also that you're willing to support their eventualities.
Yeah.
Right? And then use your people. I don't know. I didn't mean to make a statement, but it's good to use your people to get you other people.
For sure.
Because they'll have pride in who they brought in if that person is worthy and becomes a good part of the team. And you have your anchors, and not necessarily cliques, but you have, people that are kind of responsible for another.
Yeah.
We say everybody does every job. But I'm not sure the state likes how that's laid out. But, if the phone rings, somebody's got to answer it.
Yep.
There's silverware to be polished. Someone's got to polish it. It doesn't really fucking matter who.
Yep.
We try not to delineate jobs so much as we are like working in tandem to achieve them all.
No, we do a lot of cross training at Vinai also. The vast majority of our employees are trained in like at least 2 front of house positions, possibly 3. But yeah, it's just
you set up your night though. You know your team, and you want to put them in a position to succeed. So, if somebody's not 100% ready or having a bad day, maybe there's a better spot for them in the room that night, and where you can pay attention and give them a little bit more support to them or whatever. Knowing your team and, like you say, knowing their strengths and hiring to your weaknesses.
Yeah. I'm really happy with the culture we have at Vinai too. And don't get, like, we're able to have this culture because we're in an incredibly privileged position. Going back to the original question, the accolades, like, that's what brings them in. So then it's our job to get them to come back. And a lot of it for me is how we frame the interactions with the guests. It's and that's what keeps me going. And so number one, it's like there has to be an overwhelming, like, first priority sense of gratitude. It has to be for everyone, and that sucks sometimes. And so how we frame it is like, oh, you know what, like, this person so badly wanted to eat at Vinai that they ended up acting like a complete asshole to try to get in. But that's cool. Like, and yes, in acute,
that's cool, man. You like, wow, you know.
The interaction sucks at the time, yes, but when you're able to step back and think, man, like this
They're so totally stoked to be here.
yeah.
Guest interactions, though, like, you know, they certainly are complicated, and you're kind of wondering, you know, like, you ever repeat something back to somebody that they've just said to you, you know, like, or ask them to repeat it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we do a lot of delicate balancing, you know, and we don't know what those people have in their day either. Mm-hmm. Not that they should, you know, come in and take it out on us or whatever, but certainly, you know, everybody brings with them a unique challenge. I think that's the beauty of hospitality, in the sense that it's a person to person basis.
Yeah.
How they'll accept it, you know, how they accept, you know, how to become a regular,
mm-hmm.
you know, that everybody wants to see. It's pretty difficult.
Yeah.
But, you know, we cultivate guests more than we train them, and we, you know, and I don't like that idea of training a guest, but you know, you're like, as long as you're strong with your identity and everybody can see it that comes in, then, you know, I think that's it. You know, like, you're showing them the truth about you, and then, you know, that you're nice, really nice, actually nice, you know, that you're comfortable being nice.
Yeah.
I'm too nice sometimes. I say sorry. I don't say sorry a lot, but I say excuse me a lot when I bump into people like a ball. You know, like, it's not necessary. But that's kind of my conditioning. You're just supposed to be nice. Right?
Yeah.
This has been a pleasure.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure for me.
And
also.
you know, while you found yourself in some nerves, like, really, you know, time just passes when you're talking about things that you care about. In an easy way, it just, time passes. And I know I got a lot out of this. You know, you made me smile. You made me think a couple different times, dude. And, you know, like, I sure shit don't know everything, and it's really nice, you know, and I have my little hole that I crawl into every day, you know, not that Mooch is a hole, but it's separated from everything else. So I do what I fucking do. And I don't always, this gives me a chance to get across the river, to, you know, talk to a neighbor at the same time. So, thanks for your time. Also, congratulations on what you do. And I want you to have a long living success at Vinai. Remember your story. Remember what it's based on. Remember the love you have for people, you know, that you work with. And, man, I think you'll be just fine. I got a lot of respect for you, man. I'm glad we are in the same neighborhood.
No, I'm super grateful for this experience. I'm looking forward to more hangs.
Yeah, man, for sure. We'll
Yeah.
get together.
All right.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you.
Percent your workload or something like that. Or was it before?
Ask that question again. You still tape it, Matt? Ask that question again.
Okay.
I'm not sure, but just go
All
ahead.
right. Yeah. So, like, you've had multiple restaurants before. Are restaurants one of those things where, like, you have your first one, obviously, like, having any restaurant is a massive burden, but then you add the second one, maybe it's not doubling the burden so much, or, you know, and then blah 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 blah.
What are you opening?
I guess, like, oh, I'm not, but like, but I was just, well, you hear like people say with like kids or pets, for example.
So,
like, yeah.
you know, for me, I run them all with separate LLCs. So they've all had separate LLCs. And so they kind of come up on a really individual basis in my world.
Okay.
Right?
So when you've
They
had
each
multiple
had their
restaurants,
own unique attitude,
Okay.
their own, you know, inspiring challenge in terms of like how you get to the money that you want to, you know. And Dinette was fucking functioning fine in 2019, man. That was our best year, you know, 2015, fourth year in, and then we started to hum.
Okay.
Took 4 years,
Yeah.
like to really, we didn't have a lot of debt service, but you know, to really make it go in St. Paul, it took 4 years, and we profited for 3 out of the 4, but it just isn't much.
Yeah.
And then we got to the 4th year, we're like, dude, yeah. And then meanwhile, Moochie's, we had other shit that we were paying for. You know, we were trying to roll out frozen foods, which I'm not doing anymore.
Sure.
We were trying to roll out this and that, you know, following your dream, you know, a little bit more, make things a little bit bigger, look for some sort of scale out of a small joint, you know, have a corner store that means something bigger.
Yeah. So I guess it's limit. Like, so when you had Moochie's and Saint Dinette and the frozen business all going at the same time, did you feel like you had a 300% workload? Or
No,
okay,
it was definitely more. You really, if you don't have somebody you trust running it, then you will have to do the 300%.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't like, I Dinette closed, and just subsequently, like the guy who makes my frozen food had a catastrophic failure of his equipment at a time where I was like, do I want to hustle and figure out again, it's just all the costing and everything. Meanwhile, being out of products and, going through all that stress, I'm like, this is a good time to stop.
Sure.
I'm not exactly sure where I remember going with this. What did you ask me a question?
The question was, when you have multiple businesses, does it feel like it's a 300% workload or more like a 150% workload?
Now, getting rid of my businesses and shedding all those things, and thank you.
Yeah.
Your sweetheart. Shedding those things and kind of getting back to my business. I didn't insert myself directly back into the business.
Okay.
Those people have those jobs. If I want that job, then to me, it's a really good job, and maybe I'll have that job again running my own joint. But that's not the job I want.
Gotcha.
I do not want that job. I want them to want that job. That is their job. Maybe I'll sell them. Maybe that's a person that I will partner with.
Yeah.
Because, there's not a ton to take out of it. It's just too small. It's like 1.3 million a year in sales. We might get to 1.4, but it's just too small, and I could run it every day, but I didn't return from my other business closures to put myself in that business. No way. Like, I want to be able to keep myself free to do other shit that will actually enhance my life and give me more money with less pressure. This podcast is a possibility for me, like the people that I'm speaking with and the messages that come forth. I think for me, those are the investments that I'd prefer to make right now.
Sure.
Because I think those, having done my course where I thought being a multi-unit operator was the way to financial success. Well, it could have been, but it wasn't. And certainly not in the time that I was trying to do it. So am I going to buck that again, 6 years later, and run up that hill and try to open multiple restaurants when it's, a little more dicey doing so?
Sure.
Certainly not impossible. And there's a lot of people that take what they have as a role and double down and do really, really well by it. So I would never say no, but I'm at a point, me, just in the timing of things where it was better for me to not have that risk right here anymore.
Sure.
And I'm just more at peace.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm just more at peace because I am taking a reflective moment. I'm not comfortable with the time that I have yet, but I'm starting to feel it. Right.
That's awesome.
And so I would encourage somebody as good as you to keep going and making restaurants for our city.
I think I'm good for now, but thank you.
Yeah. Well, I would encourage it anyway. And it's more like, I would tell anybody, if you got the balls and the desire and you really want it and it feels good and the business plan looks good, you can make it work.
Yeah.
You can make it work. We can't look at things traditionally. I mean, we can't set up a business the way we used to. We have to set it up for success today, and the margins and the way we charge and the way we portion. Like, you can make it work. You can find that balance. It's really fucking difficult chemistry to then get the people in the door and like it enough.
Yeah.
You're a good man. Thanks for your time.